Finally, I just want to end this. So it's not only about the mortgage interest deduction, but there has been a broad attack on home ownership. So we had this unprecedented bubble and burst, very unfortunate for many families involved. As a result, it is large magazine articles, academics, and others saying home ownership is oversold. Maybe there's nothing wrong with renting. Maybe we want to have a renter society. And to be a renter at a certain phase of your life, there's nothing wrong. Many young people, they're not settled yet, they need to move, and they are looking for, maybe some people are not looking to buy a home until they get married. Whatever reason, there are some people at a certain phase in their life, they want to be renters. That's all good. But to say that your lifetime you will be renter, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the goal of society. Two transformative presidents in the past century, FDR, Ronald Reagan, one Democrat, one Republican. FDR, during the midst of the Great Depression as well as World War II, saying nation of homeowners is unconquerable. People who have stake in their home, they will fight. Ronald Reagan, who attended NAR, one of the NAR conference, said explicitly, we will preserve part of the American dream which mortgage interest deduction symbolizes. Today, academia, newspaper editorial, and everyone is like, get rid of the mortgage interest deduction. Too much subsidy into housing and all the other stuff. But fortunately, people who are saying get rid of the mortgage interest deduction are people who don't have constituencies. The members of Congress, they do have constituency, and they will listen to what you have to say, and you have to let your voice known as to what is right. I was born in South Korea. I came to the U.S. At a very young age with the whole family, my family. But my parents, they went through the Korean War. And anyone who knows about the Korean War, North Koreans, suddenly with their tanks, came down South Korea very fast, and they almost gobbled up completely. I asked my parents, what was it like during that time? Because North Korean troops came to their village as well. So, well, first thing they did was, all these North Koreans, is they line you up, and then they go to the kitchen and take all the food, and they come out after having fulfilled in their stomach, they come out, and they teach them song. And the song is about how great this North Korea leader is. And they sing it with smile. So they learned it, and all the children are singing how great it is. So my mother clearly remembers singing the song like this. And of course, at the last moment, before South Korea was completely taken over, the American soldiers came and then pushed away, and then there was eventual truce. But I asked myself, in hindsight, 50 years later after the Korean War, 60 years later in hindsight, the leaders of North Korea are clearly one of the most evil person to ever live in the world. In essence, the whole prison up in North Korea, the standard of living has fallen. Any mistalk, you will land you in essentially gulag and torturing. But somehow at that point, 50 years ago, they were able to get large support among fellow Koreans. At least the North Koreans. So how was it that North Koreans was able to get this large support of their citizens, their country? Well, he followed the same model another evil dictator followed, which was Chairman Mao in China. Chairman Mao, during the Chinese Civil War, essentially said, look, we are renters, or we are tenants, farmers without owning the land, and everything we produce, we're handing off to the landowners. This is not right. How do you solve the problem? Well, you get a landlord and you kill him. That's how you solve it. And as long as he had many, many tenants and few landowners, he could do that. And in fact, one of the peculiarities of him is he did not want to just simply kill the landowners, but he liked to torture out in the public square. And as a result of all that, Chairman Mao probably killed about 60 million Chinese, as a result. When Chairman Mao came to power, China was poor. When Chairman Mao died, China remained poor. It's only after Chairman Mao died, China implemented economic reform, and they began to rise as a result. So in thinking about that, you look at this quote and say, well, economists, newspaper editorial, they're looking at $1 billion here, maybe mortgage interest deduction need to go, maybe homeownership is oversold. But one looks at maybe true nature of human beings is that if you have a solid majority of the country who believe they are part of America, they own a piece of America, they are owners of America, then you can always guarantee that country will always be stable. You have never to worry about the situation of what has happened in China or in Korea. Because you will always have stable, and I think like FDR and Ronald Reagan somehow understood that. So despite all this economic difficulty, budget deficit, whatnot, they understood what they needed for the country. So despite the current discussion about, well, homeownership is oversold, I think that is, again, just less than the lending pendulum has completely swung the other way. We don't want to have a situation where anyone can easily become homeowners. We want to assure that you are a successful renter, demonstrated, then afterwards, if you are willing to stay within your budget and you can take out a mortgage, okay, that's all good. So we want to assure successful, responsible homeowner. But we also don't want to have a system where we say, well, homeownership is oversold, so therefore let's not try to pursue a homeownership policy. So I think we need to be very mindful of this, and at least from the realtor audience, I know it directly impacts your business, but I think that not only as you are responding to call to action, you are responding based on your business prospect, but I think many people are also believing how you view the America society as a country where you have a super majority of people with ownership a piece of America. So with that, finishes my presentation, and I will be happy to take any few questions. Just one final slide. Facebook, go to the Orange County Facebook. I'm sure you will collect many local information, but for many national trends, things like mortgage rate, tax implication, and such, we also provide many information, so you would just go to, and there will be many analysis on how we see the market condition. So thank you very much. And